Can I have your attention, please? We'll be starting up shortly. Good evening, and welcome to the Lowell Planning Board for July 15th, 2024. The first matter on the agenda tonight will be the acceptance of the minutes for the June 17th, 2024 meeting. Any other board members have any comments or corrections?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the June 17th minutes as submitted.
Second the motion.
Motion made. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Those motions, the motion is approved. Okay, so next matter we have is a site plan review, 17 Kearney Square. Sun Building LLC has applied to the Lowell Planning Board to construct an additional unit at the building located at the above address. The property is located in the downtown mixed-use zoning district in the multi-family mid-rise overlay district. The project requires site plan review approval for section 11.4.2, parentheses 2, for expansion of a structure with more than 3 dwelling units. May we hear from the applicant, please?
Mr. Chairman, before you get going, I need to recuse myself from this petition.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tenza.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. Trudy Hale for the applicant. Regrettably, this evening I am here to request that the application before you be allowed to be withdrawn without prejudice. As you may be aware, there have been multiple issues, questions, concerns, objections throughout this process. And while we believed we had addressed all those issues, late last week it came to our attention that there was a question as to whether or not the applicant had addressed requirements of an easement that was granted to National Grid to go over and across the property. While we believe, as does your law department, that we have addressed those issues, I spoke to National Grid this morning. They've had a bevy of phone calls from what they called, and I will give you the quote, what was clearly obstructionist intention. They believe that the easement has been successfully addressed, but it has triggered a full engineering report, the duration of which is unclear. And to be judicious and fair to this committee, we're asking that we be allowed to withdraw the application and revisit it at a future time if we so choose.
Okay, thank you. So,
You're welcome.
so the applicant's requesting that the matter be withdrawn without prejudice. What's the request of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to allow the applicant to withdraw the application without prejudice, as requested.
I second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Chair votes yes.
Aye.
So anybody who's here for this meeting now, tonight, this isn't properly in front of us now. The matter's withdrawn. If they resubmit, you'll have to come back to us sometime in the future. So at this point in time, we did read all the letters that were sent to us, and there was numerous ones, believe me. And I can't say there was one in favor. And we read all the staff comments, and we talked with Peter quite a bit. I know Peter's been over that site a couple of times, at least, right, Peter? Yeah. So everybody who wrote everything and sent it to us, and all the comments we got from staff, the law department, engineering, we did read all those. So we heard your concerns, and hopefully those could be addressed if this ever comes back. Good luck. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Board.
You're welcome. Anybody who's here coming down tonight, thank you very much for showing up. We appreciate you, all your efforts in this matter. And like I said, it was duly noted. We heard it very loud and clear. Thank you. Okay, moving along on the agenda, we have a site plan revision at 81 School Street. 81 School Street, Lowell LLC has applied to Lowell Planning Board to revise their site plan approval at the above address. The applicant determined the existing structure on the site as structurally unsound and is seeking to construct 2 duplexes on the property totaling 4 units. The subject property is located in a traditional multifamily zoning district. The proposal requires site plan review approval from the Lowell Planning Board per section 11.4 for development with greater than 3 units. And we have from the
Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I'm on Zoom. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you? It's Kenneth Lania from Cornerstone Land Associates, representing the applicant. We're before you tonight, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if you folks recall, we previously had received special permit and site plan approval for the development of this property, and the anticipation of myself and my partners were to rehab that front existing building, which is currently at 81 School Street, just along the frontage of School Street. After we had purchased the property and went in to do some demolition to determine the status of that dwelling, it was determined that that dwelling is structurally unsound to be rehabilitated or modified and revised in any way, and therefore it became a concern of ours and ultimately forced us to come back before you as a board to try and redo this project as shown in the updated revised site plan, with just 2 duplexes now, as opposed to keeping the existing dwelling and the 3 townhouse condos at the rear. So just quickly to overview what has changed, we are now going to demolish that existing house in the front. And as a result of that, I think it lends to a much better site plan. We're able to move that proposed driveway farther up the hill away from the intersection at Middlesex, include the 2 duplexes primarily where the original structure is being proposed, but again allowing for sufficient parking, open space, utilities, and drainage. So we're hoping under this revision that the planning board will look in favor, and I'd be glad to answer any questions at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Sure. I'm going to let Mr. Bichette address an issue that came up that he found out late this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So in reviewing, doing a final review of the application, looking at the layout with the 4 units, 2 duplexes, and the posting that was on the site, and the posting here on our agenda is for a site plan review revision. And looking at the proposal, it should have been posted for a site plan review and special permit being before the planning board. The planning board for 4 or more units, 4 to 6 units in a TMF zone is the granting authority for the special permit is the planning board. It was not posted for the special permit, just the site plan. I did email Fran and Peter late this afternoon, and Francesca, the city senior planner, did agree as well, and noted, Ken, that would have to be reposted. It was not posted correctly for the special permit. It was just posted for the site plan review.
Okay. Well, I guess I don't know what to say. I don't believe, is that my mistake, or was that the town's mistake?
I don't know. That was unfortunately, that was late this afternoon. I do my final review of everything, and quite frankly, I had just a few issues with the front duplex, and so I started looking at it and doing a deeper dive and realized that this should have been also a special permit, not just a site plan review, based on the number of units being constructed in the TMF zone. So I'm not quite sure where that lied. I know I believe it was Dylan this was his project. So I know Fran was going to reach out to him.
Yeah, I'd spoken with Dylan, and when we reviewed exactly what was going to be necessary, because I came to those folks with the original site plan showing that the structure itself had to, be demolished. He had mentioned that, that we had already had the previous approval, so it would just be a site plan revision. So I don't know how the special permit was written up, I guess, per se, but I believe that this particular project is the same number of units, obviously just a different configuration of the units, hence the need for the revision to the site plan. So doesn't the original special permit stand?
Yeah, I think that, well, in my opinion, because obviously now the how it lays out on the site changes, and obviously the board has more more flexibility with the special permit and versus the site plan review. So I think where you're constructing the layout differently on the site, it clearly based on the table of uses, section 12.1, and it would be 12.1D. It appears very clear to me, and I emailed Fran this afternoon and said, hey, am I seeing this correctly? And she concurred with what my conclusion was on that.
Okay. And your conclusion is that we need a whole brand-new special permit for this particular project as opposed to just a revision? Is that what you're saying?
That's how I would see this, yes. Again,
Okay.
I think you'll have to touch base with DPD again, but that's the way I would see this, and I believe, again, I did reach out to Fran and Peter this afternoon, and Fran did respond accordingly, so. And
So how
I
is
would
this
not
gonna
feel
work
comfortable
then?
just
I mean,
moving forward on a revision of the site plan. I don't think that's appropriate.
So Ken, I think the issue basically is when you have to, when one of the structures is unsound, so basically you're taking down one building and then added another, and that's what would be triggering the special permit. Where before, when you already had those other structures already up and on the property, then if you were just adding the two, it could fall under the site plan, but now if you're taking down the other structure, I think that's what triggers it.
I think, okay. I guess I'm at a little bit of a loss here because I did try to get this worked out, and I guess I'm unsure why there is any confusion here with needing a special permit when I believe I sat down with DPD to try to figure that out. So I guess my question would be, when would this be on for the next meeting, and who's going to do the re-advertisement, and am I responsible for that payment?
Yeah, so
Or
basically, you're
how
gonna
does
have to
that-
re-advertise it again. Yeah. I
Right.
mean, you can speak with staff. Our next meeting will be in August. You can speak with them to see if you can get that on the agenda and just change the language of the advertisement.
And then just another note, Ken, and quite frankly, I wasn't going to make an issue of it because it was the same date, but the sign out on the site says that it would be before the zoning board of appeals, not the planning board. So again, I think that would,
Yeah.
Well, I think it says planning board in one spot and ZBA in another, but yes, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
So may I have a continuance then this evening, and I'll work with DPD to try and determine exactly what's necessary for advertising?
yep. No, I would put that in a form of a motion, Mr. Chairman, to continue, well, I don't know if we have, I don't know if a continuation is appropriate.
I mean,
Because
I
it
believe
really
we've opened
isn't,
the hearing.
we
and we've
haven't
taken-
opened up for the public hearing for the special permit because it hasn't been posted for such.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I understand, Ken, that is difficult. I didn't get a chance to look at this before I came in, but if the senior planner says it needs a special permit, then it does. But anyways, I would say that the project just has to be reposted.
Yeah.
Like, we can't open the public hearing.
No.
Excellent.
Yes. So Ken, I think all you have to do is speak with staff, we post it, hopefully you can get it on for our August agenda, and you just have to basically change from site plan to site plan and special permit.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could do that, that would be wonderful.
Okay, so to resolve this issue tonight,
I guess we don't need a continuance, right? We would just
no,
maybe.
I mean, if you just want to ask.
Can we
to
table-
withdraw
can we
this without
table the
prejudice at
item?
this time.
Withdraw.
Yeah, without prejudice, yep.
Yeah, if you want to request that,
I guess my only concern with withdrawing is, do I miss the application deadline for the next hearing in August? I mean, obviously, our goal was to try and start construction, literally next week, with all of our subs lined up. So I guess at this point, I would wonder if it's just a posting and an advertisement issue, could we table this, modify the posting, and then reopen in the August hearing? That's what I would hope to do.
Got to withdraw it.
Yeah,
Got to withdraw it.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Dan, what's your comment?
Yeah, Mr. Lanier, Dan Tenzar, I think a couple of things. One, this wasn't your problem, and I think the staff will work with you to get you on the next agenda. It seemed to make sense that, hey, listen, we as a city created this problem for you, but I do think this needs to be withdrawn so a proper filing can be made.
Okay,
Let me see if I
understanding
can check
that,
with
and
Peter. Peter, would he be able to make it for the August meeting? If he came in, I mean, 'cause what?
Yeah,
Kerry has,
Yeah, right
what's the submittals due by?
August 19th, submittal by August 5th.
If you can get in by August 5th, Ken, the submittal,
absolutely,
you could be on for the 19th.
absolutely, no problem. That'll be perfect.
I just want to clarify, he still has plenty of time. For the public hearings, it's July 22nd. August 5th would be for like,
I'm sorry, yes. Yeah,
sorry.
the public hearing is July 22nd, Ken.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then
It's-
then
it's
let me
already
revise
planned,
my.
so-
yeah.
Yep, yeah,
So
so
if he
if I
can
could
come in and speak
revise
with
my
staff.
request, yeah, if I could revise my request and to allow the planning board to please allow me to withdraw this application without prejudice in anticipation of filing by the 22nd for the next available meeting so that we can have a corrected posting and legal advertisement, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lanier.
I'll make a motion to allow the applicant to withdraw without prejudice to, therefore we can go forward as a new advertised with the site plan.
Seconded.
Motion made and second, all in favor, say aye.
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 The motion carries.
Ken,
Excellent,
can I
thank-
just offer something? It's Jerry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is work with DPD, that front unit where the gable end is facing School Street?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been on the board for 18 years, and I've worked on special master plans for neighborhoods, and we've worked on not having side facades, side gable ends facing main roads, so we did
Yep.
recently something on Chambers
I-
Street, where they actually work with DPD to come up with something that would be a little bit more in keeping
Yeah.
with the development
Front facades.
pattern with what looks like the entrance on the main road. So I just throw that
Absolutely.
out at you as you talk with DPD to repost this. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'll work on it. I did something similar with the planning board when we did the project down on Rock Street for those 6 units. We did that side facade on that gable end.
You got
and I
it
have something
correct.
Similar.
That's
Yep,
exactly what I'm
absolutely.
talking about. Yep.
I got you. Thank you very much, Mr. Fischett. Thank you, planning board members, and I'll see you, hopefully see you in the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ken. Good night. Okay, moving
All right,
along, we
take
have a special permit for 234, 240 University Ave. TRS Herbert University Ave Realty Trust has applied to Lowell Planning Board to construct a 3-unit residential structure at the above address. The subject property is located in traditional mixed-use zoning district. The proposal requires special permit approval from the Lowell Planning Board per Article 12 for the proposed use. May we hear from the applicant, please?
My name is Ian Ainsley. I'm an engineer from Meister Brem. I am here with the applicant, Ms. Marcia Hebert, who is also the property owner. I'm an engineer representing her. This is 234 and 240 University Ave, as you said. It's at the corner of Fifth Ave and University Ave. It's a vacant property right now. We are coming here to request a special permit for the use, and the use being a 3-unit building. This would be a new 3-unit building. Each unit would have about 2,200 square feet. They're kind of multi-story units. We have a driveway coming in from Fifth Ave into the back of the building. There's garage access back there, one garage spot for each unit. We have one outdoor spot for each unit as well. We tried to keep the curb cut, the utilities, everything coming in from Fifth Ave because University Ave was actually recently repaved, so there's a moratorium on that street. So we tried to keep everything onto Fifth Ave. We did go to the zoning board to get a variance for the lot area per dwelling unit. We were sort of just under 3, and they did grant that variance. So we have the variance for the density or the amount of units. So like I said, it's a 3-unit building, new building. We did receive engineering comments and a request, I think, from the Stormwater Committee to put in some stormwater and make some technical changes, which we're more than happy to work with them and facilitate that. I think the last item on our list would be DPD has requested, if this gets approved, that we take it's actually 2 parcels right now, that we take the 2 parcels and combine them through an A&R, which we're more than happy to do. So that's sort of the gist of the project. I'm more than happy to get into the more details or answer any of your questions.
Does anybody else want to speak for the applicant? If not, I'll turn it over to the public at this time. No? Okay. Anybody here want to speak in favor of this project? Anybody in favor? In favor? Hearing none. Anybody in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing none. This time we'll turn it over to the board members. Have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Sure, absolutely.
So I'm very familiar with the site, and I remember when there was a home there before it burnt and there was a fire. And so it's nice to see something going up on that site and put it to good use for the city and for housing. I like what's being proposed architecturally. I like the fact that the parking is on the side street and in the back. So along the street, and we go through this. That's what I was going to ask you to actually, if you could show the elevation. It's in keeping with the development pattern on University Ave. So pleased with that as well. If you could go, I know DPD mentioned they're in favor of the 2 trees you're looking to plant. Just kind of give us some idea on that.
Yes, early on, I reached out to DPD when we were still developing this plan just to kind of get their feedback and say, is there anything else that we should put on there that makes sense? And they had recommended some landscaping and plantings. So we're putting 2 trees, I believe 1 on each street. So one sort of facing Fifth Ave, one facing University Ave. One of them is shown here,
Yep.
which is the eastern corner, and then one north on Fifth Ave. I don't know if we specified the exact species on here. We did. They're going to be red maples, acerubum. Red maples.
Red maple?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we do have some shrubbery and bushes kind of along the front of the building as well.
Good. No, and then you saw the comments, obvious stormwater management, getting final approval on that, but it's a fairly densely populated area, and there's not one person here with any concerns, and we haven't received anything, so I applaud you. I look forward to actually seeing it go up in the neighborhood, so thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bichette. Caleb, any questions?
So just to verify, I mean, it looked like they're designed to be condos, is that correct? Or they will be rented in?
We're actually going to do rentals, apartments.
Rentals, apartments,
Yep.
okay. But they are kind of in a townhouse layout that.
Yeah, it's sort of a vertical layout, just the way the lot is. It made more sense to do more stories versus
Got it.
make them wider. So the bottom floor is intended to be sort of a garage, storage area. First floor is like your living room and kitchen kind of stuff, and then the upper floor is your bedrooms and things like that.
I see. Do you, I don't know if I look at it, but do you have a rear view of with the garage?
Let me see. I don't think I do.
Oh,
At least I don't. At least I don't have them on here.
We have it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just about to look through.
Paying attention. Okay. Well, well, and I concur with Member Frechette that this fit right in with the character of the neighborhood as I visited and take a look around it, and also appreciate the garages are facing the rear.
Yeah.
So that you have the front door on the main avenue. And also, I recognize there's a variance, but you're not too far off from the density that is required by zoning. So
Yeah.
I think this is a good project and bring much needed housing to the city. So I'm in favor of this project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Danny?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of comments. Loved the project. Went by the street, drove around the neighborhood. I think it'll add to the neighborhood. I think it's an excellent project. My only, one last thing. I think it's the right size for this lot.
Yeah.
We've had other
3
things that
units
come
works.
before us, and they've been quite large and quite taking up most of the space. I like the way this has been done, both, by you and your clients. I think it's excellent. My only comment would be that there should be more trees. I would ask for 4 red maples, 4 in addition to the 2 that are here. It looks like you have significant space on the, I don't know, whatever, the south side of the property. Yeah, on the left side.
Yeah, you're talking kind of more the grassed area.
Yeah. That would be the only thing that I would be looking for. I love the project.
So our only thought is, you're going to have the building taking up a good amount of the property, and you're going to have pavement taking it up. So we were kind of hoping for an open grassed area where people can, put tables and hang out outside and play and things like that. I don't know if the trees would take away from that space if they were to be put in that back corner.
I think like everything else, everything's workable. I mean, I'm not telling you to put the tree in the middle of the open space. I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, towards the edge of the pavement, you could put a tree. Towards the edge of the building, you could put another 2 trees. So it's a suggestion, and I think it would add to the property and add to the value in the neighborhood.
Sure.
May I add something?
Sure.
So, yeah, from another project, I remembered planning staff also usually would like to see tree shade on the pavement for the countering the heat island effect. So if there's room in the back, I understand there's also snow storage that is required, but if you can fit a tree that shade part of the driveway, that usually is a big plus.
I would say we'll see what we can do. We'll see how many we can fit.
Thank you.
Anything else, Dan? No. Yeah, I was up there yesterday. Actually, Mr. Fischett and I were at the same time, so we're hoping that Dan didn't show up with Caleb, so we would have had a quorum on the site.
You'd have
And then
a
we went to
quorum
the
at that
school street after that one. So, but I do like the fact that you are coming in Fifth Ave, because University Ave is real busy. So whether you're pulling in straight or backing in, that's a difficult street to come in. And I was looking at it saying, yeah, coming in Fifth, and Fifth is a pretty wide street, really, compared to a lot of the other streets and some other parts of our neighborhoods. So by coming on this, from the side of Fifth Ave, I like that a lot, and instead of having to go into the tough traffic, so. But I'm in favor. The only thing, they're asking for the stormwater permit, which usually is pretty much standard, what we do in a lot of these, so. Plus, even if we don't get that condition, stormwater still has to do it, or you don't get.
Yeah. Don't get a building permit if you
Yeah,
don't
you
do it.
don't go anywhere anyway, so.
Yep.
Usually if they ask us, we usually follow through with that, so
Yep.
that's the only real condition that popped out at me, the same way you got everything else from the zoning board of appeals. So, yeah, I have no problem with the project. I wish you well on it, so.
Thank you.
So we need one vote for a special permit.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the special permit incorporating the conditions that were set forth in the Zoning Board of Appeals, which was listed in the memo dated July 8th, A through D, where the applicant shall comply with engineering comments. The building shall have no more than 2 feet of exposed foundation. The applicant shall file an A&R, a plan to merge the lots, and the applicant shall post a bond to replace the University Ave curb once moratorium on University Ave has ended. I would add that the applicant will work with DPD to incorporate additional shade trees within the rear of the property and the parking area. to be finalized with DPD. If for some reason you can't work something out, then it would have to come back here for a final say. I'm not going to put a number unless my colleague wants a number on there, but I understand, especially if they're rentals, because I do the financing end of this, there's a lot of maintenance and upkeep that goes along with it, but we want it to look nice, so I like the streetscape end of it, I like the two street trees on the street. I like the idea, I get the idea of the trees in the rear, but there's a balance, so we work with DPD on that, that would be great. And then also, just to add that, again, subject to approval from the city stormwater management team. Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. I'll second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. The matter carries 4 in favor, none against. Good luck, we wish you well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Okay, moving along on the agenda, do we have any comments from any board members? Anybody have any updates on anything?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to, we always see the email from Fran, as you know, I'm on the Housing Production Plan Committee for the City of Lowell, and the draft plan is out there for everyone to comment, and I would encourage you, I believe the comment period is July 26th, I believe, and would encourage everybody to go out there and take a look at it, read it, and submit some comments, if good, bad, or indifferent. I do know that they are looked at, and they are taken seriously. I've already actually had some individual sit-downs with Chris Hayes from NEMCOG, who was facilitating the process for NEMCOG on behalf of the City of Lowell. So again, I encourage everybody to go out there and take a look at it and submit your comments.
Thank you.
So may I, so how does timing work in light of the regional housing?
So this is separate from that. Each community files a housing production plan, and having that in place really for state funding, certain state funding. So this really is independent from that. And it will come before the planning board for adoption. Once it's complete, I don't know the timeline. I believe it's, once the comment period is over, the anticipation of bringing it before the planning board will be fairly quick.
Okay.
And then there's the regional housing plan, which is a completely different process. And I don't know how successful that's going to be honest with you. You can put that in the minutes.
Peter Party has them printed already. I anticipate seeing those quickly tomorrow morning. 2 withdrawals and approval. And an acceptance of the minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Anybody have any further comments? If not, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made second. All in favor, say aye.
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 We have adjourned. Good night, and thank you, everybody. 7:03.
Jeez.